I was looking at what these markets are doing at approximately midnight on Monday, which is January 9, 2012. And looks like, well, no, it looks like, the facts are, is that the metals are still taking a hit. The dollar index is going up, the euro is going down, and the crude oil is going down. And I'm pretty happy about the crude oil going down because I got mostly out of it. And I kept a position in it just in case it went way the heck up or something. But I'm hoping this drops down about 95. I don't know if it will or not, but it's about when I'm going to buy it. Probably below 96. I'm going to buy this stuff back. And I've been buying some more physical silver, just about 20 ounces at a time. And just ordered another 20 ounces probably some hours ago. But I'm seeing this is still dropping. And, you know, when there's a trend, I guess maybe it can even drop some more. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I did look at this platinum. The ratio is so skewed to gold that I don't think it's ever been this skewed. I don't know when it would have been, but it wouldn't have been in the last 12 years or more anywhere near a ratio like this. I don't think it's ever been much cheaper than gold. This ratio was showing like 1.11, where gold was that much more than platinum. Now it's 1.15. It's even more skewed. But usually I look at the ratio in this manner. In other words, it's below 87%. Platinum is below 87% the cost of gold. That I find ridiculous, and I'm kind of wondering what the game is going on here, because they had to pull out from stockpiles to meet demand in South Africa, to meet the global demand. They had to pull out from stockpiles platinum to meet global demand. So that tells me there's a shortage. And they had so many stoppages, and they're having so many problems in South Africa with mining, not just due to safety, but electrical, that they need electricity to run the mines, and there's been power outages and different things like that, and the demand is actually up for the year with the supplies down, yet the prices are going down. What I'm looking at this is strictly something to do with how the mentality is in with the traders, that they consider platinum a risk asset and they're running from it. They consider gold a risk asset sometimes too, but platinum more so, because it's an industrial metal. But I don't look at it that way, and I am continuing to buy more physical metals because I am not trusting anything with these markets. They don't seem to make too much sense to me. Looking at what happened with platinum this year, it was up to $1,900. It's down to like $1,400 now, and I kind of expected. I have some of this stuff physically. I really don't have any of this stuff electronically at all. And I don't have a whole hell of a lot of platinum. But I was kind of curious about this because I am finding this unbelievable that this stuff is going this low. I don't have too much money wrapped up in this. And whatever money I have wrapped up in it, just in the physical stuff. And I figure it's a long-term hold, because I think it will go up more than the price of gold. And gold is going to go up also. But I do find this mystifying why it's this low, and I'm thinking it's strictly because of the paper markets. I think it really doesn't have anything to do with actual fundamental supply and demand. It has to do with psychology more than anything. People are trained that platinum is a risk asset, so in times of financial turmoil, like I think the euro is crashing or whatever, and we can look at the euro today or tonight. It's down to like, we're sitting at 127 to the dollar. It was below that, though. It was at below 127 to the dollar. And it hasn't hit something like this since 2010, around June, when it was around 120 to the dollar. So, maybe it could drop some more. I don't know. But I think they're going to pull the rabbit out of the hat, and you're going to see something coming up at one of these European meetings that, especially the one that's going to be at the end of the month in January, you might hear some unexpected good words, and the euro will turn around, and maybe not permanently, but it's not going to crash that fast as people are saying. But I'm actually finding this quite amazing that platinum is going that low. So whatever it's going to do, it's what it's going to do. But it doesn't quite make any sense to me. As far as this crude oil dropping down, I'm hoping it does. I think is going to happen this year, and I know Lindsey Williams talks about the $150 to $200 crude oil. I think that's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to stay there. I think there's going to be, the watchword in oil markets is going to be volatility. And as fast as it goes up to $150 or $200 a barrel, it's going to crash right down. There could be, I think this commodity oil is going to have some of the biggest extremes going, as far as going down to maybe $75, $80 a barrel and all the way up to $200. I think that's the way this commodity is going to go. I think there's going to be some serious bouncing around in this commodity more than anything. And that's why I'm having a little patience with this, because I think I'm dumping some of it, and I dumped some of it around, I don't know, close to 101. And I took a gain on it, and it went up to about 103. I'm guessing it might drill. It can go either direction. But I'm just playing it like I'm thinking if it goes down further, I'll buy it at around 95. If not, I'll just sit and wait on cash. And I've been buying a little more PSOV here and there, buying some silver here and there physically, and getting more and more into the silver, because I do not trust any of these financial markets that much anymore. And as I go along, I'm going to start slowly pulling out more and more money out of the brokerage accounts and keep buying some more metals, because I have a feeling that we're looking at this trend right now in the dollar, and this is a more long-term chart, goes all the way back to 2004, but I wanted to put it up here because I think the recent high of the dollar, when it was like around 89 index back in 2010, that was when the euro was around 120. Now, if the euro goes to 120 again, I don't think the dollar is going to be up around this index level of 89. I don't think it's going to rise that high. I know that's partly why you're seeing some of the metals take a hit. But I also think the game is rigged. And I know it's been said many, many times, but I don't put too much faith in this Lindsey Williams, because he gets too emotional, and he's like, I don't think he understands the way the devils think, and I think I do. Let's just put it that way. What I think is going to happen with this, that game he says where they're playing is where they want people to sell off metals or get discouraged about buying them. I think that's the game that's going on. I think all this stuff going on right now in the metals market is pure BS paper prices, and the paper is taking up the demand that would otherwise be there for the real stuff. It is nothing. SOV is a total fraud, and I don't buy into any of that stuff they got on paper, except maybe PSOV, and I got some of that. But I think this dollar is not going to go up to this index of like 89. I'm thinking maybe 81, 82 is going to be about it, and it's going to start pulling down again. But where you're going to see this index pull down is the first time they screw up on a budget, and guaranteed they're going to screw up on a budget, and they're going to get rated down, and that's going to be the beginning of the end game for the US dollar. And considering they openly said that they're going to kill the dollar, like in other words, not totally kill it, but devalue it, we know they're going to do that. But I've been picking up over the years, it's almost like when you first hear this big announcement that they're going to kill the dollar, You don't rush and jump right then and make your decision. You know what that usually means? In the short term, the opposite's going to happen. I swear it's almost like that. When you get everybody like thinking one way, the opposite happens. They play. I swear, I think it's all on purpose too. So we might see this dollar index float up a little bit more, but they are going to do it. They're going to kill this dollar, and it's going to hit a new low, and it's going to be down here someplace or below that, and that's when you see your metals take off. Because I think silver is going to be easily $60 this year. Now, I'm not just saying that because I have silver. I think it's easily going to be that much because people are starting to wise up to different things that are going on in the brokerage markets. And the word is getting out, and when I look at it, I want to have more of my money in physical stuff, and I don't care what other people do, I'm not, the way I'm looking at it, having physical silver is purely a speculative play, and it's a matter of I want to sell it to somebody at a seriously high price. That's what I'm looking to do. And I think $500 an ounce is going to be very reasonable. That's going to go to at least that much money. So I don't care if it's costing, it's going down right now. I'll just keep buying more of it. And I'm not just being hopeful about this or anything like that. I see it as a no-brainer what's going to happen. Because one more clown like Corzine out there, and I know there's plenty of them. I've seen so many things. That's why I really don't trust the paper markets, because I know better about different things. There's so many laws out there, and you know what? There's so much stuff that goes on that people have no clue. They have no clue. Nothing's 100% safe. No way. So I have to go with, the theory that physical metals definitely is the best, but as time's going on, I'm probably pulling out more and more of it. But I do like the oil because I think the volatility is going to be a way to possibly make some serious money on this stuff. Because if this pulls back to 195 and it goes up to breaks a new high to 110 or 115, that's a good gain, especially on double leverage. So I'll take that stuff, and I'm thinking that's what it might do. Not 110% sure, but as I see things pulling back on the metals, it just makes me want to buy more of them. And I notice every time I go on to GainesvilleCoins.com, you know what happens? I have a hard time getting on the site, so there must be a lot of people still buying. I still see a lot of coins out of stock, even though you can still buy stuff. But they keep saying out of stock, out of stock. And I'm saying, well, the prices is going down. Okay? But I know what this game is. And I like Lindsey Williams saying stuff because he kind of reassures what I think what's going on in my head is that when they're doing this stuff, they're playing a psychological game with you right now. Like this platinum should probably be a hell of a... It should probably be way over $2,000 an ounce right now, with gold being at $1,600. But, especially with shortages... But that's what you would get for it, even physically, if you was to sell it. So you don't sell it, you hold on to it. I think that's just what's going on here is a purely psychological game where they're wanting you to discourage people from going in this area. And most people are going to be wrong. And the way I look at it, screw them. That's the way I look at it. But the lower this goes, the more of it I'm going to buy. That's all I'm going to be doing. So, and I'm thinking that this euro, like I said, I don't think the euro is going to hold together like long term, but in the short term, you're going to probably see some surprises. And all these people you see all over the place, I see this stuff on YouTube that the sky is going to fall with the euro right away, and it's going to the whole thing's going to collapse. I'll bet you it doesn't happen for at least 6 months. Easy, guaranteed. I'd almost 100% sure that it's not going to collapse and fall apart for at least 6 months. At least. So I've heard so many stories about this stuff, and it's like that's another psychological game that's going on too. But 90% of what goes on in, I think, trading is poker playing. And well, I could tell you a story about that, but I don't think I'm going to get into that area. But some people are very good at that game. I'm not one of them, but I know somebody was like family was, and it's that's really what they're doing with people. And so, like, watch the drama because usually the drama is way the hell off. And usually, when a story comes out that the sky's gonna fall, it doesn't happen right away, you know. Or to tell you this is gonna happen or whatever. It's almost like the opposite happens in the short term from when there's a lot of stories coming out about one event. So we hear a lot of this stuff. I'm not sure what's gonna happen to oil. I don't know for 100%. But I just was thinking, when they're pumping up, oh, they're closing the Straits of Hormuz, oh, there's going to be a war with Iran. I almost think this garbage is going to calm down, and then it's going to shoot back up again. And I swear I think it's deliberate. So I'm kind of using my senses versus other people's senses to see what happens. Usually when I use my own senses, I do a hell of a lot better. So, and I have done pretty good with this stuff before.